Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. And today we're doing an Amumu game from BigFatJiji's, who changed his name to Sandy Richard. And he's playing with, some guys. Chaos is still has his normal name, but King of Kimchi is the new hotshot name. And the other two, well, I have no idea. Sam's Delicious, we recognize, and well, probably a lot of them changed their names over time, and I'm not really caught up to who's called what at the moment. But at least I know that King of Kimchi is Hotshot, and Sandy Richard is, well, BigFatJiji's. So we are just going to have to see if they talk in the chat about the new names. So Amumu is going for jungle, I'm assuming, because, well, that's the reason why he normally takes Smite. And yeah, we immediately have a disconnect on the opposite team. So he'll probably come back. It happens a lot because the Korean internet isn't too good. So, starting at blue here, the team gathers a little bit around the blue. I mean, well, two of them are here, but that really doesn't do a little anything. And of course he has someone to spot the river for him. But that's about it. There's nobody here, so the enemy can just come in here. And the enemy jungler is Nocturne. And, well, Nocturne doesn't need to really have protection early game, because he can start at blue and at red. And finally he gets some decent protection here, some decent spotters. And we will probably see Corky going bottom lane, and then Alistar being roam. And we'll be able to see some Orianna gameplay as well. So here we see the enemy team that's all gathered up here. So now everyone can go to their lane because there's no real chance of them getting ganked. Rather than Amumu getting ganked. So it'll show you a little bit of the jungling path that, well, at least this Amumu takes. It's probably a very good one because, well, they think about these things and actually come up with the best solution. So blue first is really good for Amumu. It's kind of a requirement because the despair which you need to jungle really costs a lot of mana. It's hang on, 8 mana per second, but you need it on for, well, most of your jungling routine. Every time you attack minions, at least. So you attack the big raid here with your auto attacks. That way he has reduced magical resist. And yeah, by doing that you can actually use the despair to kill all of them at the same time. So he is going back before doing the double golems. You can actually take out the double golems in the same run. But I guess he just wants to play safe because he's not sure where all of the enemies are. And yeah, we see Nocturne playing it safe as well. Nocturne doesn't want to do the red buff at low health, so he waits until he Healing potion completely finishes, and then he goes back to red. So we do see a gank going off here. I'm assuming a red buff is at very low health at this point, because, well, we cannot see the health, of course, as usual. But you wouldn't gank someone if the red buff is still at full health, because then the jungler is still taking a lot of damage from it. And now the red buff, of course, back at full health. And the gank being, well, not unsuccessful, but they didn't get a kill out of it. They still got to delay the taking of the red buff. Plus he's now not taking it at all, which is even better. So Amumu has double buff now, and is going for Philosopher's Stone, which is kind of surprising. I thought he was taking a lot of damage from blue. Normally you don't take that much damage from blue if you start off with the kind of standard cloth armor plus health potions. Yeah, you can jungle much easier, but I guess in this case he's trying another item build, one which I haven't seen before. So I have seen this on Nunu, different item builds, because Nunu, well, he has the regen from, so the life regen from his Q, his consume. And by just consuming minions he can stay alive, and as long as he can get level 2 consume or something, so level 3 summoner, no, not summoner, champion, he can survive pretty much any jungle situation, so he can take out all of the buffs, and yeah, as long as he survives on his health potion until then it's fine. So you can build pretty much anything on him. You can start off with yeah, with the Dorn's ring, or like this guy did with one of the pendants. So we are seeing a difficult matchup in mid, because, well, Orianna early on, she does have some range on the ball, of course, but yeah, not really enough to outrange the Urgot. Plus the Urgot has very short cooldowns, yeah, on his Q skill. That means that he can res a whole lot better, and that's indeed why we see the gank here. Because, well, mid was having some trouble, not a lot, but yeah, you can see, or you saw her being quite low. And just to help out and to make it a little bit easier, you want to gank the lane that is having the most difficulty. At the moment, bottom lane is, well, in the middle, I would say. Top lane has been pushed by Annie, so there's no way to gank here except for the enemy jungler, of course. And mid lane now has been pushed as well. So now mid lane has to watch out for the jungler, but since the jungler is already here, there's yeah, there's no problem there. Anyway, picking up a kill with the Amumu and taking the blue buff once again. Using his smite at to take off the last bit of health, because that way you prevent someone from coming in from the backside or from here and taking your blue buff. It's a detail, I know, but the game is all about details, and if you get them correct, then you have a much higher chance of actually being successful. And I know the chance of someone being there is very slim, but still you want to be sure that you actually get your blue buffs. Because a Amumu without blue buff, yeah, that makes it very hard to jungle. Even with his Philosopher's Stone, which of course gives him mana. but the blue buffs is so much better. So bottom lane has been pushed as well, so nothing he can do basically. There's no champion in top lane. Oh, there is. But yeah, it's an invisible one. So he's going to the enemy jungle to just farm and to basically annoy the enemy jungler. And he might get lucky here, get a kill. Oh, the hotshot actually gets the kill. And they are going to get this kill, I'm assuming. Yeah. He blocked off the way back with the ball, and therefore Urgot could only go attack down, and well, didn't succeed obviously. It's a creative use of the ball, and I think we'll see a lot of those tactics in the future. People actually learn how to play Orianna correctly. Because now it's also, because she's new, it's a little bit of searching for the best way to play her. So again, having Smite up, and he's going to use Smite to get the last part of the health. And failing to do so, but yeah, since the chances are really small, it's normally not too much of a problem. But he really should hit that in the correct way. Especially since he's a pro gamer. Well, normally we see the trouble with Dragon and Baron, because both Dragon and Baron, well, you need to smite them, because otherwise someone is going to steal them, or has at least the opportunity to steal them, because they are normally warded, and people use what's it called, CV, clairvoyance on it. They're actually going for Dragon now. At 11 minutes in. I know most of the jungle videos that are on YouTube say that you can do Dragon at like 5 minutes, but in a real game, don't do that. I mean, you have to have a pretty stupid team to allow you to do Dragon at 6 minutes. Especially people with Warwick tend to do that, and yeah, you will get killed for it if someone actually puts a ward up. And in this case they don't have a ward, but still they would notice that you're not there. Because they keep tabs on where you are in the jungle, and yeah, well, we've seen the gank on red buff, or the attempted gank on red buff, I guess. But also you need to help your lanes out by ganking, and if you do nothing but just farm up for the first 6 minutes, your lanes are going to get in trouble, or might get into trouble. So Amumu has oracles now, so that means that he has to be a little bit more careful, not going after the enemy, and because if he dies it costs them another 400 gold instead of just the 300 it would cost them if he dies, and that's a high price to pay. They're probably going back for Dragon now.